Well, I say hello to you, and guess what? I teased you on my last video, and we're gonna look at this stove right here. It's the old J. Falk compact wood burning stove. It's made out of 2 cans. That right there is a paint can, a quart paint can that you can get at any home store or paint store or hardware store. You just buy one new. And this, I think, is a 14-ounce tomato can. I'm gonna double check on that. This is what it looks like when it's new. Nice and bright and shiny. Not real heavy. I think it's about 6.8 ounces, and I'm not even going to begin to guess what that is in grams till I get the scale out. And it's kind of tall. You'll set your pot up on top, but the nice thing is you can just add your wood as you go, and it's a lot of fun. Now, this one right here is my old Bush Buddy. They're getting harder to find. They're kind of expensive, and they've got a particular way to burn and use them. This one is cheap. You can make it easily. First off here, we're going to weigh the brand new one. All right. That's 6.80. Oh, 6.75. No, 6.80. No, 6.75 ounces and 93 grams. Will this fit into the Hillbilly pot? Yes, it will. That's my Imusa 12 cm pot. But if you don't have one of those, this is a Snow Peak 900 pot, and it fits into that. Both of these are about 4 cup, you know, plus a little bit. So it fits in there real nice. If you're gonna carry it in your pot, I would recommend having a little stuff sack. This is the one I carry my Bush Buddy in, but it's just a little sil nylon stuff sack I made years ago. That way I can put my pot, because it's going to have a lot of ash and stuff in it, and have that in your pot and let that ride along in your cook kit. I think it's just prudence. So this is what you get. You can kind of see there's some little binder clips right there with a screw in it, and that is your pot stand. You can kind of see they're right here on this one, and I can take this pot and that will hold it up with a little breathing room right there. You have this, which is the bottom of this can that has been cut out with a can opener that cuts around the side. What that is, that's going to be your vapor barrier, which you will set on the ground. All right, and this stove right here, I already have my chunks of wood in there sitting on my little vapor barrier. Now what you do is take the paint can, which has had the bottom cut out of that. Your top ridge, where you usually put your paint lid back on, has some screws screwed into it. All right, you kind of see that. That looks to be about 7/8 to the very top of that screw, but I don't think that matters too much. Get close enough, do the best you can. But what they're there to do is to take this part, right, the can, and mate that together. It's just kind of a pressure fit. You just kind of slide that on. All right, and that just kind of holds them together. Now you're going to take a Dremel tool and cut this big V out of this can. If you make this, line it up so you have the seams from the cans lined up like that. That is the back. I'm going to give you an idea of your hole spacing there. Lord, I can't make a decision. So you can see that the holes are about a ½ an inch. All the holes, except for the peg holes for the alcohol stove. Now, one thing about a wood burning stove, you're going to get dirty hands and you're going to get pot smut on you from flames being on your pot. But if you make yourself a nice cozy which I showed on my last video, you know, a Reflectix cozy or something. Whenever your pot is smutty like this, put that thing right into the cozy, and that really helps you, you know, keep your hands clean out there in camp if you like to be a little fastidious. Anyway, the way this packs up, you take this can off the bottom, you take your lid when you're done, drop that in there, and then you just slide this part right inside, and there's your 6.8 ounce wood burning stove. Now let's light this thing up and burn a fire, because fire is fun. You can see right here I just got some bunch of small little dry twigs, some pine cones, I've got some birch bark, but really just smaller sticks, okay? And when I'm hiking along, when I carry a wood stove, I usually keep this little bag near me, and when I see dry wood or a nice piece of birch bark, you know, as you're walking along, particularly if it's a damp day, you're looking for wood kind of hanging up in the trees. You don't want pulpy wet wood, and if I see a limb that snaps real easy and I can get a little bit of dry wood, or it's hanging up under a little rock shelf or something, I go ahead and grab it and just get me a little sack load. It weighs nothing, and that way I got enough to get a fire going when I get to camp. Let's load it up and light it up. Now, one thing about this stove is it's kind of a tall stove. Now it's pretty steady with a pot of water on it. Lay your vapor barrier down on the ground or wherever you're going to build this fire. Take this part of the stove, place it like that. Now what I'll do is I'm just going to drop a lot of these sticks in there and basically just get some stuff. You'll want a little bit of space between it. Don't pack it in there too hard. This is just kind of your little starter fire, right? I'll take this cotton ball that's been soaked in Vaseline, like that, drop that in there, and get this little fire going. Now I like to go ahead and put this can on first so I don't have flames coming up while I'm trying to put that on, okay? One thing that's real handy if you're going to use a wood burning stove is to have a blow tube. This is called my pocket bellows, kind of like an antenna. I probably got a good 3 cups of water up in that pot. And I just keep adding some little sticks. Now see how my hand just hit that? So you gotta be a little careful adding your wood. Now I'm gonna start adding some little bit bigger sticks. Now you don't want to choke the fire out by just adding too much fuel in there. So that thing's burning really good right now. So that's pretty much the J-Falk compact wood burning stove doing its thing. I find it simple to use. I was going to show you that can you want to use here, just shy of 4 inches, but anything in there will work. So take yourself a little ruler or something to the store and make sure you're getting a 4-inch can for the top part. That's a pretty boil. Yes, sir. These holes here for using your alcohol stove right there are about 2.5 inches from the bottom of the can, roughly. All right, and we'll put that stake through there and use it with an alcohol stove. So I put the 2 stakes in there and the lid that comes with it, the little vapor barrier lid. I'm going to use the old cat stove that people use worldwide. I'll add an ounce of alcohol to that. Light that puppy up. Put the pot, about 2 cups of water, right on there. So I added myself a little windscreen around there just because it is A little bit windy today. Now with this one, hot. Take my pot off. Now we're just going to let those ashes burn down till they become cold embers. Now when you're using this stove, you know, take heed, check the wind, let these ashes burn out. You can pull off these cans when it's ready. You know, if you're having lunch and you're going to use this, make sure you pour some water on there and make sure all those coals are out. But if you just let it sit a while at camp, they'll just die out really quick and you can just kind of blow them on out of there. But we still got flame in there, and that'll take a little while. So the easiest thing to do is, that's not too hot right now, is just pull the stove off. And if you're at camp, just douse those with some water. Sounds like a boil. Me and that titanium Snow Peak pot, we done made friends. So that was some good fun, right? I want to give you a little update on my shoulder. I've been doing those exercises. I can get my arm up here. That's not without a little discomfort, but I can get it there, and I have to do exercises to get it there. I can go to the side. I'm starting to be able to reach it behind my back is the worst. That hurts a little bit, so I'm not out of the woods yet. I got a ways to go. I can't get cocky because I keep thinking it's good, but I can tell that thing's knitted up. So I appreciate everybody, you know, wishing me well on it, but let's just be done with that. I'm fine. So all secure in Sector 7. Here's Johnny!